Hey yo, what it do, baby? It's your boy Dynamic, and today what I want to talk about is a question that I kind of ask myself from time to time, and I would like to know what you guys think about it. And basically the question is, what makes life worthwhile? What makes life worth living? Because I saw this movie yesterday, and it involves a guy that can go back in time and change whatever mistake he made within his own life. He can't go necessarily into the future. He can only live in the present or go into the past and change things that he thought he did wrong or whatever that he didn't like. And that movie is called About Time, just in case you guys want to watch it. About Time is a very good movie. I recommend it. But anyways, that movie made me think about what makes life worthwhile. Because we spend so much time in this world thinking about things, our career, what we might do in the future, thinking about the future a whole damn lot. We pay a lot of attention to the future, and we also pay a lot of attention to the past, because as human beings, for some reason, we tend to dwell on the past a lot, and maybe that's like a survival instinct. Maybe that's there for us to learn from our past so that we will not make the same mistakes in the future. And I understand that, but we don't really live that much in the present. And I kind of talked about something similar in the past. I made a video on YouTube about a year or something ago called The Meaning of Life, where I basically talk about what I think is the meaning of life. And lately that meaning has gotten a little bit confused, I would say, a little cloudy. I don't know. I wanted to talk to you guys to see what you guys think. I basically don't have the answer. If you guys want to see that video, though, the one that I'm talking about, I'm going to put a link in the description just so you guys can see. I think it's one of the best videos I've made. It had a really, really good reception back then. So you guys might like it. But this movie made me think about the time that I've been alive, basically my whole life. I wouldn't say it's just the movie. I think it's just the premise or the moral that ended up being in the end. The moral of the movie, I don't want to give it away, but the moral of the movie made me just lay down in bed and think a lot before I fell asleep about my life, about what makes me happy, about what makes me feel like the life that I live is worthwhile. And I really don't have an answer for that right now. I really don't. And it kind of worried me for a second when I actually thought about it. And I want to, I don't know, reflect on you guys, see what you guys think about this. Because if we look at this from a scientific perspective, then it looks very, very gloomy. We are born. We are these biological machines, I guess you could say. We have feelings because we have a very, very developed brain. And feelings somehow help us do things, even though we might not really understand them. So, for instance, maybe the feeling of love, or loving a family member or a spouse or anything like that, maybe that's like a protective instinct, because if human beings never had that, then we could easily just be like, oh, my father's in danger, fuck that, I'm not messing with those lions or anything like that. Hell no, they'll rip me to shreds, right? If we had no feelings. And it's kind of gloomy to just think about we are these beings in a universe, we're going to die, and nobody's going to remember us unless, I don't know, we do something very important for the human race. But even like that, you're still forgotten. I mean, how many very, very important people that lived 6,000, 7,000 years ago are forgotten today? And I understand we didn't have writing, but how much significance is George Washington, let's say, right? George Washington, a very famous person from history, or even Cleopatra. How much are we really gonna know about these people as a human race in, let's say, 100,000 years? Their lives are basically gonna be lost to history just like anybody else's life. So it's just their legacy lives a little bit longer than the average person. But in reality, okay, what do we live for? Sometimes I ask myself that, really, because we're all gonna die. So there has to be a meaning within our own lives, obviously, because to the grand scheme of things, there's no meaning at all. So if there's no meaning to the world that is going on around us, or maybe we can't find a meaning for the universe, for the world that's going on around us until a very, very long time from now, then it's probably safe to say that we have to find a meaning within ourselves, right? So it comes back to what is the meaning of life that I originally talked about. And yes, if I look at it from a selfish point of view, then yes, I want to be successful in everything I do. But at the same time, it's a little funny thing about humans. If you do everything correct 100% of the time, then eventually it becomes boring just like everything else. So if you've never been with any girl and you've had so much trouble finding a girlfriend or even having sex, right? And then all of a sudden you're like this master pimp player 5,000 over here and you're pulling women left and right. Eventually you might say, oh hell no, when you're not living that situation. But if you're exposed to everything, if you're exposed to something long enough, then you become desensitized to it, and then eventually it's not the same to you anymore. So then if you look at things in that perspective, maybe the meaning of life is finding new things to do all the time and keeping yourself entertained. But then if you do that, then you have other people criticizing you because you're not being focused and you don't have one goal that you're working very, very hard and striving for. And then that in itself, the actual criticism from other people, can make you unhappy. So what the hell is a person supposed to do? For those of us fortunate to, I guess, live in the Western world, then we basically were brainwashed to live in a society of mass consumption. That's why we buy so many things and we live a life of excess. I guess that's how the economy works. The more people buy things, the better off the economy is. So we live in that world. Then you have another extreme of people like monks who shun everything that's materialistic and maybe even, I guess, socialistic in a way, in the sense of like even communication with other people. Normal communication is more about oneself with the universe or nature or spiritualism and stuff like that. And it just seems like two extremes, and even extremes seem kind of scary at times, because sometimes I think, what if I just leave technology and I stop using the internet for a couple of months and don't do anything that has to do with internet related, no TV, no radio, no nothing, and basically either lock myself in a room and be bored all day or do something else, go outside and do a whole bunch of different activities? Will I be happy at the end of that? And I really don't want to spend the time to try to find that out, by the way, so nah. Anyways, the whole purpose of this video was to think out loud with you guys and try to make you think. So I hope you guys like this commentary. If you want to elaborate on anything that has to do with this video, just leave a comment in the comment section. And as always, peace out, players. Oh my God.
There we go.